Calling all football fans, we are just hours away at this point from learning who will be playing in Super Bowl 55 in Tampa, Florida. Conference Championship Sunday kicks off when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers travel to Green Bay to square off with the Packers at Lambeau Field. And then the Buffalo Bills will make their triumphant return to the AFC Championship game for the first time in nearly 3 decades. They are set to take on Patrick Mahomes and the reigning Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs on the road at Arrowhead Stadium. Joining me now for a preview of the matchup is CBS Sports NFL writer Tyler Sullivan. Tyler, good to see you. There are 2 huge quarterback matchups this weekend, but let's begin with the young future of the league in the AFC Championship. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes left last week's divisional game against the Browns with a head injury. Fortunately for the reigning Super Bowl champions, he has been cleared in terms of concussion protocols, and he'll be able to play in this game. So how significant is his return, and what does this mean for the Chiefs' offense in the game?
Well, it's obviously huge. Patrick Mahomes, we know he is the face of the NFL, like you just said, the Super Bowl MVP of a year ago. Him not playing in this game would kind of sully it a little bit, really would take the shine off of it, because this is primed to be a great game between these 2 teams. Patrick Mahomes can throw it all over the field, so can Josh Allen. But for something to look at with Patrick Mahomes, yes, a lot of attention was put on him being in the concussion protocol this week. He also was dealing with a toe injury prior to that injury that forced him to leave the game last week. So to me, let's still see what he looks like in this game. Let's see what his effectiveness is. Again, he kind of missed a little bit of practice this week, was limited. I'd be curious to see what he looks like in this game. Again, even an 80% Patrick Mahomes is better than most quarterbacks, but let's see what his status is or his effectiveness is in this game tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, quite a triumphant return, potentially. Let's talk also about Bills quarterback Josh Allen. He's had a standout year, and he has led his team to their first AFC championship in nearly 30 years. What do you think makes his game so special to watch? What do you attribute to their success this season? Is it really Allen?
Yeah, it's really been Allen. I mean, there were a lot of questions about him coming into the NFL in 2018, and he was a real raw prospect. You know, they drafted him number 7 overall. A lot of people thought that was a little high for him, considering that he was a project. He needed a lot to work on in his game, even though you could clearly see there was a lot of talent there. In year 3, he's really started to kind of figure it all out. And one thing that I think is pretty interesting with Josh Allen this year is how he's done under pressure. I mean, we all want our quarterbacks to perform well under pressure, but when teams throw 5 or more players at him, and they really try to blitz him to get him on the move, he has just been absolutely fantastic this year, and it's bled into the playoffs. He's had more completions than any other quarterback. He's thrown for more passing yards than any other quarterback in that situation. He's tied for 3rd in passing touchdowns in that situation as well. So to me, him just being a little bit more accurate as a passer, dealing with that pressure, to me, is the big difference that we're seeing in year 3, and a big reason why the Buffalo Bills are on the doorstep of a Super Bowl for the first time since 1993.
Tyler, I feel like even people who know nothing about football know that you can't talk about the Super Bowl without talking about Tom Brady. So let's go ahead and turn to the NFC. In his first year with the team, Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are heading to the NFC Championship. Should the Bucs win this, they would become the first team to play in the Super Bowl in their home stadium. What would a win this weekend mean for Tom Brady's legacy moving forward?
Well, as you can see by my backdrop here, I am in the New England area. We know Tom Brady quite well. So, you know, we already understand that he is the greatest quarterback of all time, 6 Super Bowl titles. You just can't really compete with that. And if he makes it to this one, this would be his 10th Super Bowl appearance of his career, which is just absolutely absurd. But what we were all watching for Tom Brady this year as he makes this transition to Tampa Bay was how he was going to perform without Bill Belichick. Obviously, the 2 of them, the best at their respective positions. How were they going to perform without the other? Well, Tom Brady's doing just fine right now. He's on the doorstep of potentially getting to another Super Bowl, maybe earning his 7th ring of all time, which would be more than any franchise in the NFL. Meanwhile, Bill Belichick's sitting at home watching this right now. So it certainly adds to his legacy as he separates from that Patriots dynasty.
That is interesting, that separation, because you think of Brady as being the Patriots. At least that's the vision that comes to my head. So it really is interesting to see what's happening this year. Let's talk about Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers. He had a lights-out season and is widely assumed to be named the league's MVP. Green Bay lost to the Buccaneers on the road in Tampa earlier this season. Tyler, what do they need to do to secure the win at home this weekend?
Yeah, it was arguably Aaron Rodgers' worst performance of the year when they were playing them back in Week 6. And in that game, he threw a couple of interceptions, and it led to points for Tampa Bay, and it really kind of changed the complexion of the game. So to me, it's just Aaron Rodgers being Aaron Rodgers. Like you said, he's the presumptive MVP. We all assume that that's where that's going to be heading once the award is handed out, as long as he can focus on being as great as he is. And this is something that's interesting with Aaron Rodgers. He's been in a few of these NFC Championship games, but this is the first one at home at Lambeau Field. How does that impact him being in the friendly confines of Lambeau Field? To me, I think that's going to help him a lot, and I think that's going to help him and the Packers move on and head to the Super Bowl there. So to me, it's just huge being at home, and I just don't see Aaron Rodgers having two bad performances against the same team. I like his chances in this game.
Well, it's particularly interesting because he's up against Tom Brady. I'm wondering how would defeating Brady and the Bucs boost Rodgers' status as one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever really play the game, especially given Brady's reputation.
Yeah, it would be massive. And again, you know, for Aaron Rodgers, we already know he's going to be a Pro Football Hall of Famer. He's going to get, and he's going to have a gold jacket one day. But it's about where does he finish among the greatest of the greats. And I've talked and written about this for a while now as we lead up to this game. Aaron Rodgers is looking like he's going to get his third MVP. Only a few other quarterbacks have done that in his career. But it's really about Super Bowls. Right now, he has one for his career, and that is on the level of just your fly-by-nighters, you know, guys that have lucked into one. Once you start getting multiple Super Bowls, that's when you start to really kind of solidify yourself into that top 5, top 10 discussion. And for me, if all of a sudden Aaron Rodgers gets 2 Super Bowls, he's right in that conversation of maybe jumping over the likes of Peyton Manning, jumping over the likes of Drew Brees, who has 1 Super Bowl. He starts to get into that discussion of now maybe it's Tom Brady, Joe Montana, and then you start maybe saying Aaron Rodgers if he has 2 Super Bowls now. So that's what's at stake here for Aaron Rodgers coming into this game and going forward.
Well, Tyler, as you said, it's really all about the Super Bowl. So I have to ask, at the end of the day on Sunday, who's going?
I like the Packers, as I was kind of alluding to earlier. I think they take care of business at home. The shock of the weekend, I think, is going to be Buffalo upsetting the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm a little bit apprehensive to see what Patrick Mahomes is going to look like in this game. I still don't know what that toe and foot situation is going to be like. He was clearly hobbling before he suffered the head injury that made him leave that game. So to me, that's something to keep an eye on there. I like the Bills to get to the Super Bowl, and they face off against the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, you always worry about those head injuries. All right, Tyler Sullivan, thank you. And be sure to watch Super Bowl 55 on February 7th on CBS.